Hello, I'm Maciej Mikos and you're watching World Talks. Thursday's summit of EU leaders in Brussels may prove to be the most consequential in recent years. Will Europeans agree to use the Russian frozen assets to help Ukraine? To talk about it, we're joined by Miroslav Wlachovský, former Slovakian Foreign and European Affairs Minister. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So Ukraine is once again at the top of the EU agenda, and with US support wavering, the question is whether Europe is ready to really take the full responsibility for sustaining Ukraine over the next 2 years, at least over the next 2 years.
Exactly.
Yes. What do you think?
Yes. Was it? That was a question?
That was the question. That was the question.
Well, you are absolutely right. I mean, it's now in the hands of Europe to sustain Ukraine because we will live with the consequences if Ukraine fail, and those consequences could be very harsh. And I think. As Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said already, it will be either we will help it today and provide it enough money for running Ukraine, basically, or we can feel the consequences in the form of failed state or whatever could follow, and we have to help Ukrainians to stop Russian aggression by all means, in my view.
Well, Donald Tusk actually said it's money now or blood later. Do you also feel the same way?
Yes, probably. When I listen to recent expressions of Vladimir Putin, and when I watch Russian TV, I'm under strong impression that we have to take them very seriously. If we watch Russian program of militarization, it seems that they are after something bigger than Ukraine itself.
Right. So frozen assets are on the very top of today's agenda in Brussels. The question is, why is Belgium, the host of the summit, so cautious about using the Russian frozen assets? And Prime Minister Bart de Wever has been citing legal and financial risks. Now, do you think that these concerns are really justified?
I think the concerns are justified because it's a big step, and it's not an easy step, and Belgium has a pretty big share in this, and they ask European partners for assurances and guarantees, and so far they are not satisfied with that, what was offered. But according to what I see in the news, there are still talks on a technical level how to make it.
Now, if not Russian frozen assets, then what happens next? Now, can Europe afford to just, cough up the 135 billion euros, if I'm not mistaken, just to keep Ukraine afloat for the next 2 years?
I think they already discussed what are the other options, and after that discussion, they came to this option again. There is not political will within the European Union to raise money in other ways, and one must also add that using the frozen assets, however controversial that might be, is also a reflection of the fact that in this war, it's pretty clear who is the aggressor and who is the victim. So it's probably right now the only option they are discussing. I don't know about any plan B so far.
Now, Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, warned that any delays in funding could force Ukraine to cut back drone production. And he was talking about some spring months. So do you think that, this need for money is extremely urgent, but do all the decision makers, EU decision makers, see the very same way as I have described it?
I'm afraid not. And I think some of them make it very clear, especially Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, who said that it would prolong the war, and give money and support to Ukraine would prolong the war. He is pretty constant in this position. However, I think it's a completely wrong position.
And what's Slovakia's stance on the matter?
Prime Minister Fico is close to that position, but I think at the end of the day we might see that his position can move, as we have seen it several times before. But for me, it's hard to predict what will be the end position of Prime Minister Robert Fico. He came to Brussels with a clear stance that he will not support using Russian frozen assets, but we shall see how it will all develop.
What do you think he can be convinced with to change his mind?
I have no idea what the possible compromise on that one could be. I'm not there, so it's hard to see what could be the convincing arguments of other leaders, especially leaders of the big EU countries, which can convince Prime Minister Fico or somehow change this position of Hungary and Slovakia in current moment. But we've seen several EU summits where leaders came with strong positions, and at the end they reached some kind of compromise. And I must say that the way how Ukraine will function in next 2 years are absolutely crucial for whole Europe.
Mm-hmm. Now, apart from Ukraine, which absolutely tops the agenda, as we have already stated here, and Russia's frozen assets, the EU leaders will also discuss the potential enlargement of the bloc. Now, what's the dynamics here? Is really Europe ready now to invite more countries to join the family? Is there a political will?
I think the political will has moved significantly since the Russian aggression to Ukraine. I think several of Western leaders finally understood that perhaps this is the moment when we have to fight for a larger and stronger Europe. We talk before 2022. We talk a lot about enlargement fatigue, and definitely there was some. But I think the position of leaders has changed quite a lot under this pressure, and with the vision that the continent is facing big pressure from Russia, but most recently also from the United States. I was ambassador to Denmark 2018, 2022, and I saw the changes in Danish position, which started as one of the frugal four and one of the countries which was not against the enlargement, but didn't care that much about the enlargement, and we see the change of Danish position towards Europe quite significantly, and including enlargement.
Mm-hmm. Now, lastly, some would like to see Ukraine joining the EU immediately, as they regard it as a part of security guarantees for Kyiv, while the European Commission stance at the moment is that Ukraine would probably fully join the bloc by 2028. Now, which approach do you think is the correct one? Ukraine joining as soon as sort of a ceasefire, peace is reached in there, or rather they have to wait and adjust their political system to join the bloc?
Let's be clear about this. I mean, Ukraine should join when she will be ready in all chapters. We shouldn't undermine the process in this. I think if we consider the European Union as a rule-based organization, so we have to respect the rules and the negotiation process as it was in previous rounds of enlargement. There could be some adaptations, but I don't think that we can cancel the whole process because of Ukraine's current situation. Ukraine is a huge country. To integrate such a big country, she has to be prepared, and I think it's good for Ukraine to be prepared. Frankly, it's not only the issue of the European Union willingness, but if a country joins the European Union unprepared, I think there are repercussions for that country then. In economic field and in the way it's organized. So I think Ukraine is doing incredible progress given the circumstances and situation, but I still think we have to go through due process.
Miroslav Wlachovský, former Slovakian Foreign and European Affairs Minister, was our guest this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
And thank you for watching, and stay with us for more interviews here on TVP World.